welcome. So today I'll be showing you my design for the factory conversion. So the brand in which I've chosen for this conversion is H&M. So it will be turned into a office space, so for their headquarters. So the reason I've chosen this brand for this conversion project is because they've got a new clothing line called Conscious Choice. So the brand's becoming a lot more sustainable, so obviously converting an old building into being repurposed for something else is very sustainable for the planet. So on to my next slide. Here is my mood board. So I've tried to kind of stick with H&M's taste, as it is anyway. So I've gone for a very minimalistic design with a lot of textures, biophilia, pampas grass and all that type of thing. I want them to have like have a home from home kind of feeling. I don't want it to feel too much of a workspace, but I still want it to have a professional style to it. Here is my concept board, just so you get a bit more of an idea of the space. So the building itself already has Crittall windows, so I've tried to incorporate that within my design, using Crittall doors and windows to create separate rooms. I'll have a lot of boucle chairs going throughout the design, whether that's boucle armchairs, sofas, bar stools as such. And then also some wooden panelling on the walls. This won't cover the entirety of the walls, it will just kind of create zones and just kind of something pleasing for the eye on the walls. Here are some images of the H&M stores. So as you can see, the style I've gone for is very similar to the style within their stores. Very neutral colour palette, very minimalistic, but I've wanted to add my own twist to it as well. As you can see, they've also kept a lot of original features within these buildings that they've turned into their stores. A lot of original beams and posts are kept there, which I want to do as well. I want the factory to have some of its original features that were there before. Here's the empty floor plan which I've created. Obviously you know the layout of the floor plan already. All of my sketches have been either created through AutoCAD or SketchUp. So here's my furniture layout. In the middle section here you can see I've kept it very open plan. This is the main office space. I wanted it to be open planned, and then on the sides here are where all the individual rooms will be, such as conference rooms and toilets and everything as such. Here are just some screenshots of the process of creating it, kind of a close-up of some of the individual rooms and where they'll be zoned off. Here is a traffic flow. In the centre I wanted to keep it open plan, so there is a smooth traffic flow, so the space is very functional. I don't want there to be any accidents or anything. For fire exits as well, I want there to be a clean route as well. And there's also easy access to all of the individual rooms which come off of the main open plan section as well. A big part of this process was also making sure I met all of the regulations for the building and this type of project being an office space. So for example, here I've got accessibility and use, so there's big enough corridors and turning spaces for wheelchair users, and there's also lower worktops in the reception area and the kitchen area for wheelchair users. There's also a disabled toilet as well. On the topic of the toilet, there's toilet guidelines that I've met. There's enough space for enough toilets and urinals and sinks for both men and women as well. As for ventilation, I've designed it so there should hopefully be enough windows for each room, near enough. Obviously the middle section's got all the doors anyway. As for health and safety, there's a cleaning cupboard which will store all of the cleaning supplies which will be used. For fire safety, there'll be fire extinguishers which will be located at the correct distance near any hazards and by fire exits as well. As for the structure, there will be stud walls which will be built, one behind the reception desk and others to create individual spaces, but if there aren't stud walls it will be Crittall walls with like doors and windows on otherwise. Here is my empty 3D model of the outside and inside, which was created using SketchUp. So here's my first elevation. So this is the front view. In the centre you've got the reception space, which will have the H&M logo in neon lights. To the left here we have the office gift shop, which will have all the H&M products, home and clothing. And then on the right is the men's bathroom. So as you can see, it's a very minimal kind of design, very neutral colour palette, keeping it light and airy, making use of that high ceiling as well within the converted factory. And here is my second elevation, which is from the back of the office space. In the centre is the open plan office space. There are also some offices which will be more private, which will be built in the centre with crystal doors and windows, zoning them off. On the side, this left side here is the kitchen and canteen area, very minimalistic, but also very functional space. And then on the right is one of the conference rooms, which you can see from this angle. Here is my rendered 3D model as a floor plan. As you can see, I want to keep the same flooring throughout to keep it very simple. And then also in the middle, you can see the layout a lot better. So you've got the seating area at the back with the office space through to the reception, smooth traffic flow, zoning for more private rooms as well. Here is just an image to kind of give you a bit more of an idea of what it would be like standing within the space. Very minimalistic design. Here's from another angle, more of the open plan space. Here you can see that some of the boucle chairs, wall panels, black accessories, crystal windows. This is within one of the private offices. And some screenshots of the design process through using SketchUp, building the entire structure. Wanting to keep in all the beams, just kind of painting them. Certain things will need refurbishing, certain things will need replacing, certain things may be removed. And here is my material sample board. So depending on the quality of the flooring, it may need replacing, in which case I'll probably go for the engineered herringbone wood flooring. As for the lighting throughout, it will be the same LED beam lighting, which will be bespoke made. You can have unique shapes, sizes and designs. Very neutral colour palette with the paint, boucle material throughout to kind of give a nice texture, and marble work surfaces on the reception area and kitchen space, and then crystal windows throughout that will all be black stainless steel as well. And then my statement I've just discussed about meeting the client's brief of kind of applying sustainability throughout, whether it's through the design process, making sure things are sustainably sourced, whether it's locally or sustainably made, and then also making sure I meet all of the regulations for an office space. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you like my design.
Very good. Thank you very much.